today I'm going to try something new. I'm going to try talking through my videos for the first time, and not just do a voiceover or something like that. Just want to mention up front that my house is very full. So we've got grandchildren here and kids here and husband and dogs, and so if it does get a bit noisy in the background, that's just family life, I guess. So as you can see, I've pulled out a giant stack of stuff and I would like to make clusters today. So I've pulled out all of my stamps and old clothing tags. Well, they're not old, but clothing tags and scrap pieces of paper and lots of things, lots and lots and lots of things. So yeah, here we go. Alrighty, so I've just sorted out my table a little bit, and just so I've got a bit more calmness on my table. So my ideas come from craftier Tony. She's always making little clusters, so today I thought I'd delve into clusters. So I dug in my little bags. I've got so many here with little bits and pieces inside. So yeah, I'm going to start doing that, and then I'll be using some digitals that I got from all over the place. A lot of them are from Margaret at Seven Plaza. She's utterly amazing. So yeah, some of my two favorite YouTubers is Crafty by Tony and Seven Plaza, Margaret from Seven Plaza. So yeah, let's begin. So I've got a glue page and some glue stick, and I'm going to just let's start with maybe some of the bigger cards. So we've got bases to work from. Let's start with this one. So there's a nice big piece. I think I'm going to cut it down into smaller pieces, and then first thing I'm going to do is just cover them all with some digital prints and advertisements and book pages and whatever I have lying around, because I think it's time to start using what I have instead of just hoarding it all, as I'm sure a lot of you do. We find things and we're like, oh, that will make a nice project, and we just hoard them and it never gets done, and we just collect and collect and collect. So yeah, here goes. So just cut these down to random sizes. I'm going to just put some glue stick on them. Get some random white packaging paper. I'll just use that. Let me get this thing out. There we go. And some cutting. My scissors. I just feel it's good to be using some stuff and getting my creative on. As I mentioned, we've got lots of family over, so house is a bit crazy, so I thought I'd find just a little bit of solitude today in the art room, and like I said, get my creative on and just chill for a bit and have some fun and use what I have, because storing it, and my art room is just getting crazy. So yeah, and you know, once you get into this whole junk journaling business, people start also seeing things in a whole new light and giving you stuff. So I've got loads of stuff. There's a little rip in that paper, but I'm not too worried, because I just want to sort of get a cover going on all the bases. And then once that's done, I'll probably go around, ink some edges, cut some corners. It's time to use the stuff that I've been collecting. I'm going to make some banners and some mini tags. again, I'm just using bits and pieces and offcuts from previous projects, some digital files I've printed out with some backgrounds. There's a nice piece of sheet music. So yeah, the idea is to just use what you have. No good just sitting in boxes and packets all over the place and looking pretty in there. Well, actually not really pretty, but more like cluttered. Just reducing the clutter a little bit. There's a nice piece of sheet music. Like I said, unfortunately I can't tell you exactly which digital it is and who it's from, because these are just cuts off from other old projects. And also you'll notice I'm using the printed side to glue down onto my scrap pieces of paper, so the backs are already browned, or whatever color they might be at the back, so they will, even though they're going to be clusters and probably glued down, they could also become like journaling spots in a junk journal. Yeah, we'll take it from there. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cover as much as I can off camera, just to save time, because I'm sure it's pretty boring just watching somebody glue stuff down, right? And you'll notice even if there's like a bit sticking out on the edges here, I'll probably just cover that up with washi tape or something, make it interesting later on. But I think the most important thing right now is to first get all the bases covered with something. Like I said, I've got scrap pieces of packaging paper, leftovers from old projects, book pages, music sheets, whatever you have got lying around, let's just use it instead of just hoarding it. I know some ladies, they like to make their things straight, but I think some of them I'll probably put to a side or on the diagonal, because it just makes for interesting. Alrighty. Okay, so I've done most of the bigger pieces. I've covered most of the bigger pieces with all sorts of bits and bobs, looking lovely, funny odd shapes. It's cool. Some of them had a natural fold in them, so I've just covered inside and outside, which is very cool. And most of them I've just covered just the front with bits and bobs and pieces. I already had this gold card, so all I did was cut it down a little bit, so no mission there. Yeah, so I'm getting somewhere, I think. So now I've got all of these little cards that I'm going to cover and see what happens from there. So I've kept a few of my little offcuts from the bigger pieces, so I'm going to use those too. And again, some more packing paper and bits and pieces. So yeah, so I thought while I'm start with the smaller ones, I'll just tell you a little bit about why I personally don't like voice recording on my videos, and why I'm pushing myself out of my comfort zone today. I suppose it's good to challenge oneself every now and then, so this is like a personal little challenge to myself today. And my number one biggest reason why I don't particularly like voice recording is because A, I swear like an absolute trooper, and B, I don't know what I said previously, I like to listen to music while I'm crafting, and yeah, that's not a good thing for YouTube, either the swearing or the listening of other music. So, well, including other music which not copyrightable and usable, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, there's my main reasons why I don't usually end up talking on my videos, and I just rather record, add some pretty music to it, you know, the music that you're allowed to. Yeah, such is life. And another little mention here, that's if you're from South Africa, you might recognize some of the brown packaging that I'm using. Those are our Checkers 60/60 shopping bags. They are so handy. I've collected so many of them. What's nice is that retail shop actually, they do recycle the brown bags, but I think I do a pretty good job at recycling most of them myself. So yeah, I've got hundreds and hundreds of those bags lying about wanting to be used. So a lot of my bases of my projects, I'll use those brown bags from the Checkers man, as we like to call him here. In my home, we call him the Checkers man. And yeah, also, you know, these dead spaces when you're busy with a project and you don't really know what to say because it's pretty self-explanatory. But I do admire these ladies on YouTube who do talk through their videos. The time it must take to edit. Yeah, I know from personal experience, you know, when just doing normal recording, and then I generally speed up what I've done and then just add some music to it. And sometimes you can record for up to 5 hours just to make a 30-minute video. So, you know, these ladies who actually talk while they're busy, I really do admire them because, yeah, they've got some serious talent and time. Even though that's one thing I do have, I really do have time to be able to do these things. But yeah, these ladies are absolutely super, and I've just gotten into the whole video recording thing. So, you know, I'm still learning how to edit and how to cut out certain things and how to speed up when you need to speed up. So, and I've just got a basic little program that I use on my phone to do all of this. So I do have Canva, but I don't really know how to use Canva to the best of its ability. So I've got a bit of learning to do as I go along on this journey. That's why I just found it easier just to film, speed it up, add some music to it, post it, publish it, and yeah, wait for people's reactions and see how many people have actually watched the video. That's quite exciting. That's always exciting to see that, to watch my little YouTube channel grow. I mean, I think I've got a whole like 35 subscribers, forgive me if I'm wrong, subscribers, but yeah, the idea is to grow and to learn as you go. So yeah, these, you'll see I've got quite a few of these. A shout out to my coffee lady Natanya. So buy some nice reishi coffee from a very dear friend. Well, she's become a friend through selling me coffees. I've actually never met her in person, but we talk at least 3 times a week, maybe more. At one point we were chatting every single day. So these little thank you things come out of the coffees that I order from her. Amazing coffees. Yeah, so these are also quite nice to use as bases. I've done projects before where I've used these, and again, it's just about upcycling, recycling. And then, you know, often when you go to the doctor, you get like a little appointment card. So because our diaries are digital, you know, I put everything into my phone straight away. So I still keep the little cards that they give you, the appointment cards that they give you. Who knows? You know, you can turn them into something like this. So I love my upcycling. I don't know, just earlier on I was just talking about how when you start junk journaling, that's how people start looking at things differently, the way that you start looking at things differently, and then people end up giving you stuff, you know. So I've got so much stuff, it's not even funny. Oh, how cute is this? This is like a little envelope which came on this clothing tag. It's a bit sealed, so I wonder what was inside there. But that's pretty cool. There's a little made envelope. That's so cute. Let's see what we can do with that later. So yeah, I'm almost done now. I have done all the bigger bases. As you can see, there's a lovely big pile this side. And now I'm going to do the smaller bases off camera. And yeah, we shall see what we'll do with them when I'm done backing them on all sorts of things. Another place that I wanted to mention where I get some of my digitals from, just actually got to go onto my laptop to check it out. I saved the page. Let's have a look here. Okay, it's called Library of Congress. It is an American website, and it's called the Library of Congress, where you can get like old documents, and you'll see here there's some like old house plans and stuff, which is all not copyrighted anymore. I can't remember what the term is right now about when of public domain. That's the word that I'm looking for. So there's a lot of like old books and old documents that you can download from that website. It is so cool. So again, some of the digitals that I'm using are actually from that website, but my favorite digitals are definitely the ones from Margaret at Seven Plaza. She does such amazing digitals, and she often does freebies, which suits my pocket very much. I love her freebies. I have bought a few of her actual ones where she charges a few euros, but you know, converting from South African rands into euros and pounds and to dollars is sometimes rather a bit pricey, you know. You know, for example, like at the moment, I'm probably wrong, but it's about 25 rand to the pound, and 25 rand can get you like a loaf of bread, you know, here in South Africa. Well, a fancy loaf of bread at least, you know. So sometimes doing the conversions back into rands works out very, very pricey. So sometimes it's a bit difficult to get these nice pretty digitals and stuff. But yeah, it's one thing that I also want to venture into, is doing some digitals myself and getting a little Ko-fi shop going, because that looks very fun. And you know, bringing a few extra bob here and there can always help, you know, buy a loaf of bread. Anyways, not that we eat that much bread, but our grandson showed you. They love their toasted cheese sandwiches, or grilled cheese sandwiches, depending where you live in the world. You know, we call them toasted sandwiches over here in South Africa. So yeah. So again, I'm just taking my smaller pieces and just backing them onto a piece of paper. Like this specific digital that I have here is from Library of Congress. So go check it out and see what you can find there, because there's loads and loads and loads of interesting documents and plans, and sure, I can spend hours and hours and hours on that website alone, you know. Yeah. Here again, remember I was speaking about not knowing what to say while I'm busy. I've had my say about digitals and why I don't always talk on my videos. Why I don't like to, at least. Awkward. I don't want these awkward silences while I'm busy with projects and trying to talk to you and make my videos interesting. Yeah, you know, let's put those aside because I'm getting confused now. And like I said, some of the biggest problems I have is the swearing. You know, not that there's like any sort of mistakes in junk journaling, and even when I teach my mandala dot art classes, I always say to my ladies, there's no such thing as a mistake. You're either going to fix it or learn from it. So, you know, I try and carry that through when I'm doing junk journaling as well, or any crafting for that matter. My three biggest crafts, as you might know, is the mandala dot arting, junk journaling, and quilling. Not quilting, quilling. I love my quilling. And just here's a quick shout out to the Quilling Guild in the UK. I am a member, and I've been a member now officially for 4 years. And in your 3rd year, you can do an accreditation. So I'm really thinking about when my house is a little bit more quieter again. I shall probably investigate doing my accreditation in quilling, which will be very awesome to have that accreditation. And then also, once you're a member for 5 years, you can do your advanced accreditation. So who knows, maybe I'll just stick it out another year and do the advanced finished instead of doing the normal and then doing the advanced. I don't know, maybe you have to do both, you know, do the normal accreditation before you do the advanced accreditation. Something I'll just have to investigate and find out. Yeah, and then maybe just not that there's stale air right now, I'll tell you about some other YouTubers that I absolutely love to watch. I think my absolute favorite is Natasha from Treasure Books. She's just utterly amazing. I just absolutely love her videos, and also how she looks at things, you know. She is just so super creative and such a talent, you know, to look at something and what looks like junk to one person becomes a treasure to her. And I really do enjoy Natasha very much. And then recently I have subscribed to Tracy Fox. I haven't watched too many of her videos. I've actually only watched one. I watched one this morning because my other two favorites, Margaret from Seven Plaza and Tony from Crafty by Tony, they often mention Tracy Fox, so it was good to go and see what other people are up to and doing. I mean, I get a lot of my inspiration just from watching these highly talented ladies do their thing. And yeah, that's why I said today I'll push myself out of my comfort zone and give it a go, because these ladies do truly inspire me to try out new things, do new things, push myself out of my comfort zone. I feel like all I'm doing right now is rambling, but anyways, that's okay. I finish off these smaller cards. This specific backing that I'm putting on right now is one from Margaret. It's very cool. It's got like this, I think she calls it Gothic architecture. It is so cool. I'm in love with this kit. It is amazing. You know what I also find interesting is like how all of these ladies have their own unique sort of style, which is so cool. You know, I can't think of the other ladies that I watch right now off the top of my head, but you can see that they like have their own uniqueness. They have their own little style going on there, which is very cool. You know, and you start to develop your own as you go. I don't know if I really have a style as yet. I think I'm still working on that. But yeah, in general, just go with the flow. I suppose that's what we have to do. You know, that's the whole point of junk journaling and doing these things. Go with the flow. Yeah. As you can see, I've got plenty of these clothing labels because, like I said, you know, you mention to people, your friends and your family, and they start collecting for you, and then they bring you little packets of goodies, which is always fun. Oh, that one's nice. Look at that back. It's nice and black already. So I'm just going to put some glue on this front side. Yeah. So I'm just going to start off, like I said, with some glue stick. And then as I work through and I see that there's like little corners lifting and stuff, I will go in and grab some other glue. My preference at the moment, I started off with E8000, which I absolutely love, and then I got onto the B6000, and I think I love that even more than my B6000, E8000. I have even tried now T8000, but I think my favorite so far is definitely the B6000. It just doesn't smell as harsh as the others, and they are absolutely fantastic glue to work with, especially when you really want to make sure something's stuck down good and proper, you know. And if you're using a bit of mixed media and you're using a bit of hardware like brads, in our country we call them split pins. I've heard overseas they call them brads, or you know, so this glue is very handy for like really sticking those things down real good. She says taking out the real denim tag, real. Let's put that one that way. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish up these last few bitsies. I was thinking of turning those ones into little banners. I think I'm going to do a lot of that with some of these bigger ones, turn them into like little banners and little taggy things. Yeah, we'll figure it out as we go. Okay, so I've covered all my little bitsies. So I thought now what I'll do is I'll make some of them into like banners. I can find on my very messy desk my little punch which makes banners. Here we go. There we go. So yeah, so some of these longer pieces, like this one for example, I think I'm going to just trim it down a little bit and then make a whole bunch of banners. Get out my cutting board. So this long strip was actually an offcut from some of my scrapbooking pages. So I thought that was quite handy to have. There we go. We'll cut those down into reasonably sized pieces. And let's just give that a bit of a trim. And then I've got this nice little punch here. So let's make some banners. Oh, that was a bit skew, but that doesn't matter. That looks great. It's cutting very skew, but it doesn't really worry me too much. Maybe I'm not pushing it in. Maybe it's paper's actually a bit skew. Who knows? But it doesn't matter. Makes him unique and interesting. Let's just cut that over there. Let's do some more. Just cut off the edge there. Oh, that one came out quite nice. I'm not measuring anything, I'm just winging it. Ooh, that one goes like all the way through, that doesn't help. Where's the stoppy thing? Let's go there. Go. And let's do one more. Let's see if it'll cut off that. And that's, there we go. And then just empty out the bitsies. And now to figure out how to put this thing back on. So I've never taken it off. Hardly used this. So again, just using things that I have because why not? It's good. Let's see. So I've made some banners over there. So I think what I'll do is try and get them into a little pile of banners. Banners, banners, banners. There's another few little thinner strips that we can turn into banners. Oh, wrong one. So as you can hear, I don't know if you can, but grandson's having a bit of a shout at the gate there. It's rather cold and shame they've been like really huddled up inside. So Mom's just taking them outside for a little bit. That's quite a cool one. These ones I wanted to turn into banners as well. Yeah, let's turn that one into a thick banner as well. That one's quite nice. See what else we've got going here. Thought I had another one of those little thin ones. Let's see. That one could work. It's probably amongst here somewhere. Let's do this. My home is full, but so is my heart. I'm having such a good chuckle at these little ones. It's very sweet. You know, all of our kids are all grown up and out of the house, so when they come and visit, it's quite interesting. I just cut that one for no reason, but anyways, that's fine. Okay, so there we go. I've got a few banner pieces over there. These ones, what am I going to do? Let's check out what else I have here on my table to kind of make shapes. Let's make tag shapes. Might as well use these punches that I have, right? Oh, that one wants to also go all the way through. Well, let's give it a go. Ah, how pretty. I'll do that to a couple of them. I got a bit lazy with some of these and just covered them in white packing tape. Those are very cool. Oh, this one. Yeah, why not? Let's cut it. I'm going to cut that one in half because there's a little fold line there anyways. Oh, it's really disappearing in this punch. So maybe we won't do those two. Let's take some of these thank you ones because I've got so many of them. Just try and line them up nicely. Yeah, can work. Those are coming out quite nicely. Let's do it to this one too. Why not? Oops. Let's try that one again. Oh, it's a bit stuck, that one. There we go. Hey, and I didn't swear. Woohoo! Let's see what else. So we've got some taggy things. Those are quite interesting. Take off all the pieces, clean up, clean up. I do try and clean up as I go, but I think all of you who do these crafty things know that you can clean up as much as you like, but it's going to get all messy again, which is fine. Just enjoy the process. Got this new punch. I'm going to try out some different fancy corners. This one, see how that goes. Like I said, it's time to actually start using these things. Oh, that one doesn't want to punch too well. No, that doesn't want to go. It's too thick. Let's try to find a thinner one. See if that will work. Nope, too thick. Okay, I'll scrap that idea. Let's see if this one will go. It's a little bit thinner. Nope, also too thick. Okay, so I'll note it that this punch definitely will work on paper, but not so much on cardboard. Mind you, let me give that a go again, because something kind of just released out of there. Let's go. Aha! That's quite cool. Oh, that's sweet. Looks like a little scalloped edge. That's very cute. So yeah, so now all I'm going to do is take these smaller ones and kind of just maybe make the edges a bit more interesting. This seems very boring though, I must be honest. But I'm sure once I get going, once all the boring stuff is done and the decorating starts, I think that will be pretty cool. This one, I think I'm just going to do the top corners, leave the bottom corners. Let's try this other side. See how that goes. No, I just don't think this side wants to work. Is that what the problem is here? Yeah, it seems like it just doesn't like that side. That's okay. Oh, here's an itty bitty one again. What shall we do with that one? Let's make it like this again. I think also another frustrating thing about talking while you're filming is, like I said, when things don't quite want to go your way, you know, then I kind of do want to swear, but yeah, I'll try not to swear, really trying. Yeah, just sometimes things don't really go according to plan. Oh, that's quite cool. That's working well. Oh, that one needs to be glued on better. Just a bit of glue spot there. That's quite cute as well. It's just making like a quarter round on that. That's very cute actually. I like that. I like that. Let's try this one. Oh yeah, I think it's just that one side of this punch which doesn't want to take to such cardboard. Too many layers. Let's do another one like that. Corners. What else can we do? Just lots of other little bitsies. I think I want to deal with these bigger pieces. Small pieces. Here's another one that I can make into a banner shape. Banner. Here's another one. Can't remember which way it goes. Banner shape. Let's make it into a tag shape. Let's push it all the way. Oh, this one's a bit fiddly. Doesn't really lie nicely in the middle. And it's being swallowed up by that punch. So, new plan. Let's see which side was it that actually wants to cut that side. Yeah, this is great. Put that in there. Let's see what else we can do. I don't know if these are going to work, but we'll give them a try. I've got these really cool patterned ones, but again I think the cardboard might be too thick to go in there. I won't know if we don't give it a try. that one went, but now the punch doesn't want to release. Don't look at what I'm doing. Huh. Okay, so I don't know too much about that one. Let's just do the one side, and then what I'm going to do is just cut that little bit of excess off. Make that work for us. There we go. I don't know if I'm going to do any more of those. Seems like a mission. Yeah, another thing that I find while I'm busy working is that stuff disappears, and I see it's not just me who has this problem. As you're working, you know, like, I can't find my glue stick. I can't remember where I put my glue stick. And then you spend some time looking for the things which are like plain sight, you know. So yeah, always fun and games. Always fun and games. Let's do another one of these. I'm really enjoying this. There we go. I think I've got plenty of banners now. Definitely plenty of banners. Let's see what else we can do. Oh, I've got these really cool hand punches in this giant bag. Yep, I just love purple and butterflies, that is for sure. I love this bag, it's so cool. So I've got a circle, we've got an oval, a heart. I'm definitely going to use the heart. That looks like a little square, maybe not the square, it's boring. What is this one? There's a flower shape, teardrop shape, petal shape, and a butterfly. Yeah, I think I'm going to put the square and the circle back. Let's just do this. This is the butterfly, I think. Alrighty, let's do this thing. I think this is how you're meant to do it. I don't know. Discovering things. Let's see if it'll punch through. Yeah, that's cool. There's a little butterfly in that corner. The only problem is I can't do it the other way around, so we'll just punch the bottoms. I think you're meant to slide this underneath this guide thing. I don't really know. There we go, little butterflies. And what's cool about these is it's got this like catchment area, and then you've got like little punched up butterflies ready to go for another project. More stuff to keep, yeah, why not? This one I think I'm going to go in at a bit of an angle, try and do all four corners. Yeah, that's cute, just something different. I don't know if you can hear my tummy growling. Husband is making the most delicious Sunday lunch, which I'm so looking forward to. So I think shortly I'll be again pausing my filming to go and have a delicious lunch with the family. Some nice roast beef and veggies. This house smells utterly amazing. Hubby's such a good cook. I'm so blessed. Is this a little flower? It is. It's a little flower. Just punch some flowers out. Another thing about filming and talking is the interruptions that you get. You know, you get your WhatsApp messages and phone calls, and sometimes that will actually pause the video, and then you forget to double check those things, and then you forget to press record again, and then you've lost like a whole section of your project. So again, there are many reasons I can think of to not chat, but again, I suppose today is a chatty day. We'll just chat through the process. This little heart punch is very cute. Really enjoying that. That one's nice. And let's try this one. This is the oval. I don't know if I'm going to really use the oval. I don't think so. Let me pack that away. That was fun. Fun using things. Woohoo! Okay, I think that one's quite big. I'm going to leave that one aside because it's a nice chunky thick one. And then what can I do with these little ones? Oh, again, all of these bitsies everywhere. Let's just get rid of that. Oh, coffee. Coffee. My wonderful stepdaughter made me some coffee. Coffee break. Many joys about having your kids come home. Haha. Like coffee. Coffee gets made for you. It's wonderful. So I've just got these last few left. I do think maybe the smaller ones. Oh yeah, there's just such a few left here. We'll just keep those ones. I know we can round the corners, round the edges. Try and find the other punch. Corner around a punch. Finding though my little 10 radius is not working too well because that's the one that I use the most. So we'll just use the 7 because that side's still nice and sharp. That one's lifting again. Like I said, I'll probably go in with my B6000 and just glue those little corners down, which want to flop up like that. But yeah, let's see how far this process goes. Rounding the corners. Oh, this is that one that I tried through that other corner punch thing and it didn't want to go so nicely. Let's just get a little bit of flare. Here we go. So I think the next thing that I shall do is that I will ink all of these edges, which is another thing that I can start and then do off camera because yeah, I don't think you really want to watch me ink all the edges of all of these little things that I've got going here. Let's just clean up the little offcuts again. Okay. So let me think what I really am enjoying. What is it called? Coffee brown. So I've got these really handy little dauber holders and I absolutely love them. So handy. And then I just print my little labels. And then let me get my dauber out. Dauber, where are you? There we go. And then all you do is, okay, I want the coffee brown. Just swing it open there, pick up the dauber. Dauber's seen better days though, but sometimes that happens, doesn't line up properly. My OCD kicks in like, oh, the labels aren't lining up. Just keep playing until they do. Right, so go for my coffee brown. It's definitely one of my favorite ink pads. Moving that up right along. One's brown, nope. Brown. Alrighty, so like I said, what I'm going to do is, I think I'll ink some of them in this coffee brown, and then some of them I think I'll do in my black piano. Some of my favorite ink pads. Let's do these browner ones. It really just adds something to it, even though it's such a pain and it's so tedious to ink edges, but it's really worth it. At the end of the day, it really just gives it that je ne sais quoi. it just really does make things look nice and stand outable, especially when we start composing everything together and making these clusters, when we finally get to making these clusters. But first, the boring parts need to be done, such as gluing on the backgrounds, and then those ones I'm going to do in the black piano, inking the edges, blah blah blah. Let's do these ones in some coffee brown. It's actually quite cute with the little quarter round. Yep, it just is so appealing to ink the edges. Inking. Obviously, another thing that I like to use to ink with is shoe polish. It's very cool. Again, just getting into your creative zone and just using things, ordinary day things. Sure, this piece is very thick and sturdy. I think I might even add it to this pile over here, because it's quite a nice thick cardboard underneath, and I kind of want the thicker cardboards underneath as a base. So yeah, let me carry on doing this off camera, so the video isn't 3,000 hours long at the end of this. Who knows? Yeah, let me do that. Okay, so I've just had a look, and I mean, this is already 51 minutes of filming, so I've done all the brown ones, all the inking using the coffee brown. So I'm just going to do a few of these with the black piano, and then I think I'm going to call it a day and split this project over a few videos if I need to. So let's call this part 1 of making clusters from scratch, from bitsies, you know. So yeah, and like I was saying earlier on, that Sunday lunch is smelling really amazing, and I'm sure that's going to be ready quite soon, so I'll have to stop filming anyways. So I think, yeah, let's call this part 1 of clusters, and during the week, again, when I get a bit of a quiet moment, I shall start compiling the second bit of this video, and possibly even a third if needs be. So yeah, we can start putting the clusters together and start decorating, because some of them are very boring, very plain and boring. So I think I shall do some stamping on some of them. Yeah, so we'll just do that there. Okay, so there we go. All the rest I'll do off camera, and we'll film for another day. Thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate you spending some time with me, and me pushing my boundaries and, well, my limits, and trying something new. Very exciting. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks so much again for all your love and support. And shout out to all my subscribers out there. And hopefully I'll be picking up some new subscribers. That will be lovely. Bye for now.